Is there any? Oh, don't order the pizza. They have salads. Salads are cool. The salads there work. You can do spinach, lettuce, do your vegetables, no problem, and your protein. But don't do the pizza. I don't know if they're better now, but back then they came frozen first off. It was already the dough and the sauce and the cheese already on there. And then when you order it, you add on more toppings. And then we add on more cheese and throw it in the toaster oven, and there's your pizza. That dough was missing something, couldn't tell you what it was. Even now, to this in this day, I don't buy pizza anymore. I literally make my own pizza. I literally buy the dough and buy my ingredients and make my own pizza. I don't know what that dough is missing, but it probably needed some salt. It was missing something, and I couldn't put my finger on it, and it was gross. I would never do it. Don't do it. Do it to to prove my point, but don't do it. Okay, don't order the pizza. Um, and so for anyone, for food industry people, we get this. But if you're a regular consumer and never worked in the food industry in any regards, please, I repeat, do not go to a restaurant when they're about to close within 5 or 10 minutes of closing. My Subway closed at 11. You're coming in 5 to 10 minutes before I'm already got half the line broke down. I got to count the register and stuff at night, and I'm trying to do it quickly because it's late at night, and you just want to be able to get in and get out before, you know, just be preventable and be aware that you're working at night and you're closing the register, and you just want to make sure you're clean up and you got all your attention on just the money so that anything goes down, you're ready for it. So please do not go to an establishment within 15 minutes of closing. Don't do it. I don't care how hungry you are. You knew you were hungry before 11 o'clock. I knew you were. You knew that. There's a Taco Bell around the corner. There was a McDonald's where a corner, and there was also a Waffle House. The only reason you came to Subway because you thought you were being health conscious and wanted to try something else because you kept on the Waffle House every other night when you got off work because you, yeah, you came to Subway because I'm like, oh, I'm done with Waffle House. I'm going to try to be healthy tonight. No, I'm closing at 11 and you just slowed me down from getting out of here. I'm not staying here till midnight because you were hungry. Okay? Respect them. Respect your food workers. Come on. Think about it. After 2020, they deserve to be treated better. They lives are already kind of messed up and you're just making it worse. Don't do that. Okay? That's my perfect service announcement. Don't enter into establishment 15 before closing. For sit down restaurants, not even 30 minutes. Okay? Cool. We got that out the way. Um, so I also waited tables. So I waited tables at OCharley's. I've done it twice in two different states, in two different cities. Um, they're similar, obviously. No matter if you're in a different state or in a different town, the OCharley's are generally the same. If I'm not mistaken, there's probably only like 20 left in the whole country. Um, they should still be under blue ribbon holding. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. That's who paid me. So give or take, it still should be under them. Um, there was times, I get keep people's like, oh my God, I can't believe you wait tables, you don't make minimum wage, you live off tips, yada yada yada. Yeah, I lived off tips, but I was making money on a daily basis. And unfortunately, you couldn't predict how much you were going to make in a day or at least make in a week. But at least I know I was putting money into my ATM machine every night when I got off work. Um, I put the cash straight into a deposit, get it out of my possession, put it away immediately. Um, a lot of times, if you were a closer, I got really lucky and got the good section. So to make up for the fact that you got to be there for like more than or longer than most, you got the good section. So in a lot of times there were booths only in your section as a closer. So a lot of people preferred booths, so the chances of you getting sat were greater. And also you had maybe like one party table for the non-booth style party tables, just a normal tabletop. And so you get the good section, knowing that you're going to close, and then so you got the benefit of being a closer and getting the good section. You could be a closer if you weren't good at your job. Not to my own horn, I was pretty good at my job. I sometimes even hosted. Hosts don't also, at least in OCharley's world, hosts don't make minimum wage either. As a server, you make two-ish, and as a hostess, you make five-ish. And you get tipped out of a tip pool because you're also were a busser. And so you would get tipped from the servers because without them busting the tables, then they couldn't get tables, and so they tipped you out weekly. I don't know if everyone does that, but that's how it worked at Charlie's. Free Pie Wednesday was the vein of my existence. The pies, looking back on it, were not that, yo, Free Pie Wednesday, yeah, yeah, yeah. I They could have tasted better, but of course they're coming from a warehouse locally and shipped in, whatever, whatever. A story that I have is that I had a 12 top, a whole bunch of women, 12 top coming at lunchtime. No issue. The way lunch is made is that the lunch menu is built so that you can get in and out in 20 minutes easy. So I had a 12 top, generally 20 minutes. They can eat, drink, pay within 30 and get out and be back at work in time. If they need to lay around or whatever, they can, but not on Free Pie Wednesday. So, yes, 20 minutes for them to get their food, eat, and drink, and I can get them cashed out and ready to go in within 30 minutes. But they all wanted pies to go. So that's 12 pies. I'm waiting to come out the window as much as the rest of the restaurant is waiting for pies to come out the window. And they all wanted to pay separately. 12 tickets, 12 orders, 12 pies to go for everyone. I got all their tickets lined up. Credit card, credit card, credit card, cash. I'm pretty good at not mixing this up because it would be very difficult to explain. Generally, all their things were about the same because lunchtime prices are generally generically set. You get like a 6 inch, 6 inch. I'm still thinking about Subway. You get a sandwich, a soup, a sandwich, and a salad, kind of like Panera Bread's combos. So everybody's pricing is practically the same, but I'm literally going through each person, swiping, swiping, swiping. Have one of my friends like, hey, can you go make sure those pies are coming out the window? They all got to be to go. And a lot of times, getting to go pies, they can't fully dress the pie. So you have like the chocolate crumble on the side, the whipped cream on the side, things like that. Because it's to go, it can't be completely built. Um, and so they're getting mad at me because I'm taking too long, but you decided to give me 12 credit cards for 12 different orders and have all your pie to go. And they said, they're never coming back. We're never coming back. You guys are slow, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I admit, sometimes on Free Pie Wednesdays, pies coming out the window should require 3 or 4 people, which it kind of does because they'll have a rack of certain, like the pies that don't need to be refrigerated. First off, there's the apple pie, cherry, yeah. And then there was like limited editions, but there was like this chocolate silk that had to be refrigerated. There was a lemon, I think that was limited edition, and it had to be refrigerated, and it would already be pre-made. So all you had to do is grab and go. But if it's to go, it's not just grab and take it to the table. It's more like they gotta pull, put in the, yeah, you get the point. So long story short, that location is closed. It doesn't exist anymore. It's something else now. And well, there you go. I'm never coming back. Well, I'm not coming back either because it doesn't exist. Um, and I think another pitfall for them was the free kids. Kids eat free. Oh yeah, a lot of restaurants do that. Uh-huh. But at O'Charley's, kids eat free all day, every day. Yeah. So a lot of times we're getting that family crowd. We're getting that group of people, then also getting that unfortunate family that's trying to eat out but can't afford to eat out, but also want to feed their kids and their kids eat free, but their kids are not eating the free food. And so then we get this whole thing like, oh, I'm not getting tipped today. Unfortunately, I have a eight top. Four of them are kids, four of them are not kids. And the four kids that do get the free kids meals makes the tab smaller and therefore the tip smaller, but yet the work is still there, if that makes sense. Yeah, okay. And then French fries, chicken tenders on the floor, everywhere, on the ceiling. Don't know how, but my point is, I only get a tip maybe for the work of an eight top, but there's not a price tag of an eight top. I don't know. That didn't work for me. I that tab, if kids did not eat free, the tab would have been bigger, therefore tip should be more implied to be bigger, but it's not. But I'm working for the keep up of the drink refills of an eight top, but only getting paid for a four top, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. But one of the biggest tips I ever had was I think it was a party of 20, and it was a nice Asian guy and his crew. I think they were part of an organization or something, but they came to eat there. I enjoyed them so much. They were so nice. They were so cordial. And I want to say it was December, but I got a $55 tip on that table. And of course, just fun fact, I guess, or not really a fun fact, but fact of the matter is, for some reason, in the month of December, people are more generous to tip in December than any other time of the year because of the holidays. But in my brain, it shouldn't be why does a holiday matter? Or Christmas, Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa? Why would that have to be the reason you tip more? Um, that's just me because I'm like, you should tip all the time. But even now, like, I did to goes for OCharley's, even like, before there was DoorDash, Postmates, Uber Eats, there was to goes. I don't know if you remember, like Chili's, Applebee's, OCharley's had to go windows, curbside pull up, whatever you call it. We had that. I did that shift sometimes, and people either come in and pick up their food, or people would pull into the parking spot, and I would come out to bring them food. Tell me why on days where it was raining and I would bring their food out, take their payment in, change, card, whatever it needed to be, come back out, and I don't get a tip. It's raining. I came out for you, but you didn't want to leave me a tip. Well, but on the plus side, to goes made more than the minimum wage plus tips. So those shifts were really nice to have. Because as a to-go person, you need to technically do two, three jobs in one. So I remember sometimes I was doing to-goes and also doing tables because some people didn't want a onesie. And I was like, I can take a onesie and then also do my to-go orders and then bring out food and still refill their drinks because I could see them, put them down. I can do that. It's in the closed section, but I just remember to make sure I clean that up as my closing task before I left. But same concept here. Everything's always going to be whatever. It's always the server's fault, even though you ask how do you like your steak cooked? Done. Oh, okay. Well done. I don't want to see any blood on the plate. Ew, ew. I don't want to see it. Oh, okay, Mr. Toddler. I'll get that steak out right away. Like I don't get it. But if we want to be real, what I'm about to say may hurt a lot of people, just how like pineapple is allowed to be on pizza. Steaks should only be cooked medium rare, medium. Most steaks, that's where they're supposed to be cooked. Don't get a steak well done. Ew, but Todd. No, medium. If you don't want well done, in these do mid-well. Mid-well only at the most if you really don't want anything else. Don't do it well done, I promise. Steaks are intended to be medium rare and medium. That is it. Okay? Comment down below how you like your steak, because when I used to eat meat, I was a medium fan. I did everything medium. Do that. Okay? Got it. Um, but yeah, people would just make the server the issue. I get that you only saw me, but if they burnt something or something and didn't make it to your liking, don't get mad at the server because they weren't on the line, right? Or the food runner for that matter. Sometimes you have a food runner on shift and all they do is the task is to deliver the food. And you're getting mad at them like they were supposed to make the steak or cook the steak or sirloin the way it's not their fault. And then that experience ruins your tip. And so therefore it goes full circle. Don't blame the server. If the server is going to correct it, predict how they react to the situation. If the server corrects the situation, then they saved your day and they made the food right, then you should elevate them to want to do that more often. And you got to think about how you make that server feel. So when they get their next table, it could totally domino effect. This person did get a tip because of what the cook did. That doesn't sound okay to me. Does it sound okay to you? Well, it happens all the time. People stereotype all the time about certain types of people and certain things happening at restaurants, races, families, age groups. Some of them are true. Hate it or love it, some of those stereotypes are true. I'm not going to get into it. That will be a whole extra hour onto this video. But I'm not going to go into the stereotypes of restaurant guests because a lot of times they are true. Just saying. Just know you already know which ones I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on, shall we? Yeah. Um, um, have you ever been at Sam's Club or a gas station like Kroger and been approached by someone that was trying to sell you NASCAR cleaning wax? Yeah? No? Comment down below if you have, because I was one of those people. So there was a job to where a team of people were at a gas station for like 10 to 12 hours a day trying to sell you cleaning wax. And some of the proceeds went to Breast Cancer Foundation, which wasn't a big deal. I want to say it was called like FW1, Formula W1, something like that. And it was a cleaning wax in a can. You would spray using microfiber and clean it up, dirt, grime. And the coin on that is if it's the stuff that NASCAR uses, we all know the NASCAR's exterior are not built the same as your everyday car exterior. So why does this work? Exactly. That's my point too. Um, it was just so crazy, but I think I made a $600 a week on a good week, and 10 to 12-hour days. It took me an hour and a half to get to this location. So 3 hours a day I was in the car, and 10 to 12 hours a day I was doing the job. And so that probably leaves me 9 hours. That means hopefully 6+ hours of sleep, and then the other two would be eating and using the bathroom and maybe getting video games in. Um, I did that for a few months. It was hell. Um, like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate all the skills and the marketing tactics and the public relations skills that I learned from that job. But yeah, that's a different that's a different kind of job. Ooh, one of my favorite jobs of all time that I've had. I worked at GameStop. Yes, a girl associate working at GameStop. Yeah, I don't know. Even being a gamer girl was taboo. I still remember PS2 era. hearing a girl online was a big deal, let alone a girl working at GameStop in 2016, and it was still odd. Don't know why, but it was odd. And I was the only girl at my location for a while until we got like a woman manager later. But I was the only girl at my GameStop, and it was a big deal. Oh my God, it's a girl at this. Stop it. Get help, okay? Um, I love that job. The benefits of getting like free stuff, gear, t-shirts, checking out games. You're as an associate, you're allowed to check out even a new game and try it out and play it and see if you like it. And then of course research it so that if someone asks you about it, you kind of already had some kind of clue of what the game was. Um, like I don't remember any if anyone remembers No Man's Sky. The game was great now, but when it first launched, it was so incomplete. But I remember playing the game for like a day or two, and I was hyped for the concept. And as you know, I love space stuff. No Man's Sky was like, yes, this is it, like a space exploration game. And yes, I'm in for it. But allegedly, you could never really complete the game. So you can complete the game, but then also start another universe or a planet, and eventually you're supposed to be able to meet up with other players and then have you adventure together if you like. And no, as you guys know, No Man's Sky was a launch failure, and so yeah, it was hard to push that game as an associate because it wasn't is what they said it will be, but it is now. I recommend getting No Man's Sky now. It's completely been revamped, repatched. All the things that were supposed to be in there are in there now. A lot of DLC and expansions. It's a perfect game. If it was like that back in 2016, it would have not been an issue. But once I played it, I got a little bit into it, and I didn't play it long, so I didn't know about all the bad stuff. But it was pretty. The color designs were great, but it was empty. It was an empty game. And so, No Man's Sky, get it now. I mean, I recommend it now, but if you got it when it first came out, it's better now, I promise. um, One thing that like going back to like free stuff is like over here I have like a whole bunch of lanyards. Like these lanyards, I have a lot of these from years. These I'm surprised I don't have more of them, but these are a lot of the lanyards that I got. There's like Rainbow Six Siege, there's Metal, Gears of War, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, Destiny. Destiny is my life. Doom, um, Homefront, The Revolution. Don't don't bother. Watch Dogs 2, and these are just a few of them. Oh, the cool thing about the Watch Dogs 2 lanyard had a um, USB drive on it, and what it was, it got the associates involved with like a digital scavenger hunt for like hacking and um, being able to unlock in-game currencies and stuff, which is pretty cool because a lot of times the marketing teams would try to get the GameStop associates involved because they know that we're kind of like the first line for the customer of praising or lack thereof of their games. So they would do stuff like that to um, kind of get us like involved and excited for the game. Watch Dogs 2 is a good game. Set in San Francisco, and the main protagonist, uh, it was just, I didn't play the third one. I should have, but I didn't. But the second one is still my favorite of the three. Um, but yeah, it was just like the engine looked way better in the first one, obviously. We're going to talk about how Watch Dogs looked like one thing at E3 and then looked like another thing at launch. But, the game was still kind of interesting to go through. Um, and then we had a lot of launch parties. Call of Duty, I remember, was it Infinite Warfare? It might have been. There was a launch party of Infinite Warfare. We ordered pizza, and then we had launch parties for the Pokemon games. We ordered like buffalo wings and stuff. And um, when Madden came out, I believe Gronk was on it, and there was the Monster Energy Drink ambassador showed up to our store in like this jacked up like truck, and the crew came out of the truck and like brought us cases of Monster Energy Drink, but there were Gronk like decal, like it was Gronk's um like colors and logo on it and everything. So we were able to give those out during the Madden launch party. But hey, if you were an energy drink fan, I wouldn't see any problem with you taking one of those cases home with you, because I don't recall anyone really drinking energy drinks like that. I don't think I was back then. Nowadays I'm a Celsius fan, so whatever. And so stuff like that would just happen randomly. Getting marketing when marketing was over, I used to be able to take the posters with me. Oh, there was this one display. It was Final Fantasy 15. It was probably like almost 6 feet tall, maybe 5.5 feet tall. Maybe I was slightly taller than it, so probably 5 feet and some change. I claimed it right out the gate. Dibs called it. Couldn't fit it in my car the day the advertisement was supposed to be taken down. But we had regulars that would come in the store often and call dibs on it. So we ended up putting their initials on the bottom of something or behind the promotion. So when it was over, we could give it to them. But whoever was there when we were closing could fit it in their truck. So they were able to take it. It looked so cool. It was 3D, and it was just kind of like oval shape. So it gives that protruded look. I wanted that so much. But yeah, I had stuff from like, I think even my grandmother or someone has the when Kobe was on the cover of the Legend edition of NBA, someone has that. I don't have it. Someone in my family has that on the wall somewhere, but I don't have it. Um, but I collected a lot of posters and I kept them in my trunk for years. Um, oh, sorry, you probably. It is 4th of July weekend, so you may hear some fireworks go off. Uh, yeah, hey. Um, but yeah, it was just the cool concept of being able to play stuff when I wanted to, enjoy the content, and know the knowledge and understand the world of gaming. And going through the controversy with GameStop and all the numbers, and they're, going on about you need to meet these goals, you need to meet these numbers. Yeah, we literally needed to meet numbers. Um, I remember we had to have a certain amount of pre-owned games sold, um, Power Up Rewards memberships, and pre-orders. I think that was a minimum basis, and I think like an average per transaction amount per transaction. And so that was a big deal. But as our teams, I'm sure other people in their store does this too, is that if I already had all my pre-orders completed for the day and someone came in and was like, hey, I want to pre-order something, I'll pass that transaction on to someone else that needed them. Because it wouldn't make no point for me to have 30 pre-orders in the day and then no one else has their goals met for their login and their transactions. We're a team, so we should all be able to flourish together. Um, as well as like people would get mad at me for what the trade-in value that GameStop has put in place. But as a kid, you don't understand the whole like supply and demand, right? So for example, Destiny, Destiny 1, Destiny 2 comes out. People are trading in their games towards Destiny 2 or bringing in Destiny 1 to get Destiny 2. So my store recognizes that we already have 30 copies of Destiny 1 in the store. That's probably the most we should have, and there's not more we need. And if there is anything, we can ship them out to another store, ship them out to a warehouse. We don't need that many Destiny 1s. So you come in with your Destiny 1, I'm going to check in for the trade-in value, and the lowest we can trade something is 1 cent. 1 penny. 1 penny. It's because I don't want your Destiny 1. You're better off keeping your copy of Destiny 1 than trading it to me. That's why that value is so low, is because of supply and demand. Now, if you had something like NCAA 2014, I probably can give you $25 for that game, even though it's really old. The only reason that game is still valuable is because it's one of the last NCAA games that was ever made due to all the issues with the contracts and the athletes and stuff for college teams. They stopped making NCAAs after 2014. That was the last one. So if you happen to have NCAA 2014, it's probably $40 at GameStop right now because there's only so many of them floating around. And yeah, and I think it only is on old generation anyway. So it's even more valuable because I don't think anyone still even has a 360 or 3 anymore. But it is valued probably $25 for as old as it is. Um, yeah, so I would, the value of the game depicts on how frequent we have that game in stock. If I only have 3 copies of something, the chances of you having a higher trade-in value is better versus me having 30, 40 copies of something. I don't want it. Keep it. You're better off giving it to your friend or selling online for $5 and trading it in for a penny at GameStop. Just saying. But yeah, don't get mad at me because I didn't make that price for you. Um, Even like when I finally did get another woman in the store, she ended up being a lady from New York. Long story short, she's a white woman. There was a scenario where this white kid comes in. Normally, I don't care about race or anything about anything. We're all gamers, it doesn't matter. But this white kid comes in. He was on a mission. He wanted an Xbox. And he's like, hey, can you get me an Xbox ready? I'm about to go get some games and ready. I'll be checking out soon. I'm like, okay, cool. I go in the back, bring the Xbox back up to the counter. And then there's a kid that comes in. And then about a few moments later, followed by his mom, he's looking at headsets, things like that. And there's just me and her. We're both are there. And so there's 2 registers open. So there's no issues of who comes up to what counter first, whatever, whatever. And so I don't acknowledge kids usually when they come in by themselves because usually that just means that they're not they're probably just browsing and looking around. But if his mom came in afterwards, I didn't notice her. Maybe she wasn't acknowledged, I'm not sure. But she was a black mom with her black son. So the kid kind of comes over, the white kid with the 2 Xbox games he wants. I'm like, okay, is that all you getting today? Da 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 da. Check him out. He goes on his way. Quick transaction. He knew what he wanted. He was done in like 2 minutes. And then the mom comes up to the counter. The kid has his headset and a few games. He's like, why didn't y'all da 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 do this with us? Blah 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 blah, and all this stuff. Y'all racist. Y'all racist. First off, just this is the first time I had a white female manager in this location, and the first thing you go off about is her being racist. First off, she was doing numbers on her register, she was doing her manager stuff, and I was at my counter doing my sales associate stuff. And she just threw out the racist card because yeah, she didn't feel like she was spending as much money as that guy, apparently. If I was spending all this money, then y'all would have treated me. No, he just was quick about it. A lot of times, I don't know if you know, but when men go shopping, they already know what they want. They're in and out in seconds because they've already looked at something for days at a time to confirm things, and they just go in, get what they want, and leave. So the kid buy a headset and has like 3 or 4 other things. Can't remember exactly what it was. I remember the headset because it was a pre-owned headset and it was one of those janky ones. And I wanted to inform him how janky that headset was because I know kids can be very rough with their materials and that headset won't last more than a week. But I digress. She puts like 2 or 3 things back and only end up buying a few things. It's like, I ain't coming back in this store no more. And but she still bought stuff. So I don't know if she was trying to use a racist card as an excuse to not get everything her son wanted or the boy wanted, or she was really upset that we didn't treat her or acknowledge her like the white guy before her. I don't know. But as far as that, that's like the only weird story that I have for GameStop. Yeah, that's nothing crazy happened in that store. Um, my next favorite job is that I worked at American Cruise Lines, and they are so inclusive and so intimate and so great to work for because, of course, they go by American Cruise Lines, um, making it that where this line that I'm about to say next never really hit me until now that I'm saying it out loud. But they took pride in the fact that all their employees were American. Yeah, that's so out there, but whatever works. Um, but the ship I've worked on was a hundred 100 guests and then crew members. They had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We would set up breakfast. Breakfast was more of a self-serve setup, so they can serve themselves. Lunch was kind of a simple, casual dining style, and then dinner was full out, full blown, decorative dinner, formal dinner style. And so there were 7 days. We have new passengers every 7 days. And at each port, the guests could select an excursion or an event they could go to. And they would, that was all included in their price. Alcohol is included in this price. If you want to take the moment right now, go to American Cruise Lines, look that up, and you can see the ticket prices. You're going to look at me like, what in the world? Yeah, I know. The price is pricey, but it includes like everything. I can tell you even from back 2017, uh, let's say like $1,500 for a single room. That's a lot. But again, 7 days includes alcohol, includes excursions, and tip is included. And so then you're pretty much getting everything you need and you're not paying anything extra. So depending on what you think of that or not, but that's a pretty good price. I know and the only thing is too, as well, since you're not on a Carnival or a Norwegian that has thousands of other people, you're not dealing with a lot of people on these ships. These are more intimate settings. Generally you have the same server for all 7 nights. So you all like I would have a two top of eight, so I would have 16 people. I knew their last names, I knew their dietary restrictions, and I knew what they wanted for dinner every day. So it was more of an intimate situation. So it was really nice. Some of the best water things like it was. I would love to be on a cruise. I would love to be on a cruise ship again as a guest and not an employee. Like the sunset, the sunrise, and since we were in Seattle, Washington, Vancouver, Canada, and Alaska, it was around February to June. The temperatures were amazing, like high 75, low 50. Their summers are so perfect, so relaxing, so chill. It was never too hot and it was never too cold. It was just right. Um, so there was times throughout the day that we could get off the ship and actually go to where that port may been. There was this one port, I can't remember the name of it, but I remember spending $20 on a on a what do they call it? The ice cream boat. It was four different scoops of ice cream, and one of the scoops on there was the Marion Berry ice cream. Marion Berry is exclusive to the region. It's from Oregon, and it's exclusive based off of it being a hybrid blackberry that was conjured up at the university or something like that, a local farmer. And so Marion Berry ice cream is based off the Marion County. And so that's really cool. I tried it in ice cream, truffle. If it was a version of something, I've tried it. It was one of the better fruits that I've had in ice cream or candies. Um, was able to kind of, restrictions for the different places that we could eat different foods. We had a curfew, of course, and there was all this joke. It's like, if you ain't be back, we'll see you in 7 days because we'll be back here in 7 days. So you just got left, and we weren't stopping and turning around to come get you. So make sure you were back on the boat by a certain time. I want to say at least that'll be 11 o'clock or midnight. And yeah, if you weren't there, you got left. And I enjoyed that a lot. Um, Being able to get different guests. They had onboard parties, things like that. And the views were great. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, and some of the best tap water on the planet is from the boat because if I'm not mistaken, it went through a 12-step filtration system. And still to this day, that's some of the best water I ever had in my life. I can, I, that's some of the best water I had in my life. I can taste it just thinking about it now. Yeah, work on the cruise ship. Little random facts of garbage went into a freezer to prevent it from getting gross and growing insects and things like that. So we would put trash into a freezer until we can get to a port. Um, we had practice drills, fire drills, overboard simulations, things like that. And that went on for 14 16-hour days, no days off for 4 months. Yeah, and the money was good, mandatory overtime. I can't complain. The average person could probably come home with at least $6,000 in that time frame. Just saying. Just yeah. Um, Another job like I worked at Stars and Strikes. Imagine that being like Five Nights at Freddy's security breach, but just without the animatronics. Worked the bowling alleys. There was laser tag, bumper cars, arcade. Yeah, there was just a lot to do in this place. And I had, I hated the fact that people walked out in this place. This place is like the length of a football field, stadium size place, and you will be working the bowling alleys and serving people food and drinks, and then you have people walk out, and your managers and supervisors looking at you like, why do they walk out? If you were around more often, they won't be walking out. I'm like, well, one, the food runner should be running my food. I shouldn't have to be going to the kitchen if there's a food runner on shift. If there's not, then I have to go get my own food. Two, the food station or the drink station, refill station is not far. It's only a few steps away. So by that time, oh, it's my fault they walked out. Yeah, okay, got it. Hated that. We couldn't afford walkouts. So if you that kind of person, you there's a special place for you. Karma, your comeuppance, don't. We already got it hard enough as it is, and you're over here walking out on your tab. Um, Parties. There was plenty of parties. Parties, it's crazy. You can have parties of like, um, people could have like 6 lanes and then like 6 to 8 people on each lane, and they were just a lot to do at one time. But they were what they call party assistants. They would make balloon animals and then have like arcade cards to give out to everyone that attended. And the benefit of working there is that I got access to free games and free bowling, but I never had the time to take advantage of any of that. The only time I ever actually did laser tag and took advantage of the games is when I got invited to a birthday party and when I threw my own birthday party there. Is the only time I ever actually experienced this place. um, a lot of times, one of the reasons that, you know, you're probably at this point like, oh my God, Ty, you've had so many jobs and all that stuff. And a lot of times, either A, I moved, or B, I never really actually quit the job. I really like those kind of jobs. It's just that a lot of times it was the managers that I was quitting. 9 out of 10 times, people are never quitting their jobs because of the job, and 9 out of 10 times, people are quitting the job because of the manager. We're quitting the manager, not the job or the franchise itself. I enjoy the jobs that I've had. It was the people in place that I didn't enjoy. This is one of those places. I love Stars and Strikes. It's just the managers in place just weren't up to par. And that was it. But I enjoyed it because it was always something to do. People running around, having fun, entertainment. You can't go wrong. Um, Denny's. Denny's. I worked at Denny's. Free pancakes. Enough said. There's not really much to do with Denny's. Um, I can't recall any crazy guests. I just remember gaining a lot of calories because I would eat pancakes anytime I wanted to. But fun fact, when IHOP has its all you eat pancake days, Denny's has that all year round. So it's not that it's a secret, but it's on the six, seven, $8 menu. I don't know if they still even have that, but I believe on the $7 or $8 menu, it's all you can eat pancakes. You heard it here first, guys. I don't even know if their Denny's still exists because there's none around me. There's some back in my own hometown, but yeah, Denny's is kind of under the radar now. After that, I went to Bath and Body Works. Yep, Bath and Body Works. Um, After a while, I became nose blind to the lot of the smells in that store. But if I could remember what the ingredients were in that fragrance, I can remember how to sell it or promote it. But it was hard to remember. Someone come up to me like, "Oh, does it smell nice? Do you think it smells good on me?" And I would kind of have to be like, "Yes, ish," because I don't remember. And then my science brain is about to kick in. Your body's composition changes about every 7 years. So if there was a fragrance that you liked a lot over the course of time, your molecular structure and your atoms and your skin won't be complementary to a fragrance anymore. So just know that Japanese cherry blossom used to get as a kid and you grew up and liking it, you may not like it now, or it may not smell good on you now, and it's okay. It's not that the store changed the formula. It's not that Bath and Body Works changed the combinations. It's us, and it's okay to just find your new fragrance. And it's okay. Every 7 years, you're gonna do this again. Okay. So the Japanese cherry blossoms, the Thousand Wishes, the OGs are still made the exact same way. It's unfortunate that your composition changed. And you may like something else, and there's always something else there. I'm a big fan of the fall fragrances, all the ones that smell like food, the marshmallow, pumpkin spice, apple, lattes, something hot chocolate, all those fall fragrances, those are my favorite. And then Christmas time, of course, you got Vanilla Bean Noel, and you also have your what's the other accompaniment? I see Vanilla Bean Noel, and there's like a ice something, and then apple spice toddy, something like that. Something like I can't remember exactly. I don't know if that's thunder or if that's fireworks. But yeah, so it was just a lot of the fall and Christmas times. The semi-annual sales were crazy. I remember the location I worked at, we used to get the semi-annual stuff in early. And so we would get these, they had to give us these giant storage containers on the outside of um, the building because we couldn't fit everything in the back of the house. And we got robbed, I think, twice from those containers. So if you ever, I know it's been years now, but if you ever see like an overhaul eBay post of like some Bath and Body Works, just know it's probably was stolen because there's no way. Um, but it's like it's not that serious. One and two, you're who are you hurting? You're just getting going to get caught by the camera, which I believe a lot of them did. But yeah, they eventually they posted it online, and the police found out. And, yeah, the rest is history. Well, my favorite thing was Candle Day. If they still do this, the first Saturday in December is Candle Day. Back in 2019, 2017, 18, the candles were $8 or like 8.50 or something like that. But I'm sure they're not that now, but they do average out. The the regular price of a candle was 14.50 and up to like $22. So $8 candle, even if it's $10 or $12, whatever it could be now, it's still a good deal, kind of. Um, but yeah, stack them up, get them all year. My mom and my grandma would get like 12 candles at least, and that would last until the next candle day, and that will always just work out well. Um, and so then, over time, it just kind of became the normal thing to do, just to stack up on candles. I'm not big on candles because I'm very paranoid about forgetting to put a candle out at night. So I'm a fan of the Wildfire plugins, and I get anything of those when they're on promo, and I'll get those a lot. And of course, you have your employee discount, and it always came in handy when you want to get something for someone on their birthday or what have you. But yeah, I can go on and on about the jobs that I've done. With all the information I just provided you, I think I'm about an hour and a half into this video. And so we're going to make this a part one. Stick around for part two because we're going to go into where I used to work at a Nuke's Eatery where I was a cashier and also a caterer manager. And I can tell you more how what goes on behind the scenes on that. I also trained kickboxing for a few years. I can definitely go into more detail about that. And then we can talk about my current job now. I work in homeowner services for homeowners, and that world of, yeah, I already know you kind of conjure up what goes on with that. But we're going to just do that in part two because there's a lot more to talk about. But thank you for tuning in to episode two of Jobs, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I guess now officially part one. And in part two, there's a lot more that I can talk about present day stuff, my kickboxing training days, and more about food industry secrets. Um, but I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend. 4th of July is right around the corner, and be safe and celebrate as well. And yeah, um, thank you for tuning in to Save Me From Myself podcast. This is Ty June. Thanks for tuning in. You made it to the end. I see you next weekend.